In this chapter, we're going to explore different ways you can log into Google Docs. And once we're logged in, we'll get a tour of the user interface. In this lesson, we're going to log into Google Docs using the web address. So here you can see that I've launched my browser, which happens to be Safari on the Mac. But if you're on the PC, no sweat, you can launch Internet Explorer. And from the Google page, you can see I've typed in Google Docs. Now I'm going to assume at this point that you've never done this before. You don't know what the web address is perhaps to get to the login screen for Google Docs. So you just search for it here in Google, and when you hit return, check it out. Right at the top, welcome to Google Docs. There's the address down below, docs.google.com. So that's the address you could type right here in the address field if you wanted to, but you can also click the link, welcome to Google Docs. It'll take you to the sign in page, and over here on the right is where you'll sign in. Now just before we do that, it might be a good idea to create a bookmark or a favorite so that you never have to do that again. Here in Safari, the menu bar says Bookmarks. In Internet Explorer, it'll say Favorites. We're going to give it a click and choose Add. Now here in Safari, I have the option of adding my new bookmark to the Bookmarks menu or to the Bookmarks bar. I'm going to leave it selected as Bookmarks menu. And for those of you using Internet Explorer, it will get added to your menu anyways. Now I don't need all of this in here. I'm going to click right before Google Docs and just backspace over that stuff. That's all I needed to say. And when I click the Add button now, anytime I launch my browser, I can go right to the Bookmarks menu and Google Docs will be right there. Give it a click and off I go. So do the same in Internet Explorer if you want to have a shortcut or quick access to this login screen, and then you're ready to log in. Now all you need is the email account or email address that you used when you set up your account. So for me, I'm going to type in david.b.rivers@gmail, that's what I'm using, .com, and I'll type in my password. And notice down below there's a checkbox here. Mine is checked off. Remember me on this computer, so I won't have to actually do that every time. When I click sign in, I'll actually log in and arrive at my Google Docs homepage. Now just before we get familiar with our user interface, in the next lesson I'm going to show you how to log into Google Docs if you've got a Google Apps account. We'll create a gadget on our start page. That's coming up next. Most people who use Google Docs will likely have a Google Apps account. Google Apps account can be free as well, and there are different editions, including the Team Edition, where many people using the same domain may have access to a start page. On that start page can be a gadget that gives you access to Google Docs. That's what we're going to explore right now. So let's assume we don't even know the address to get to Google Apps. You can see here in my default browser, I've typed in Google Apps here at the Google search screen. So I'm going to type return after typing Google Apps. And check it out, there's the address right there. Pretty simple, www.google.com. Then we put a /a and a slash at the end. Will take us directly to that page. Or we can just click the link right here in the search results. And here we are, welcome to Google Apps. Now if you don't have a Google Apps account, here's where you can compare those editions and sign up right now. Or if you do have your account set up already, you can click right here where it says returning user, sign in here. You may be prompted for your email address, or if you're using the Team Edition like I am, all I need is my domain name. So I'm going to click here in the field and type in lynda.com. The www is already there. And notice that when I hit return or click go, it's going to take me to the start page. So I'm going to do that now. And here's the lynda.com start page. And down below you can see I've got a number of what we call gadgets. Very similar to what you'd see in Windows Vista. Looks a little bit different. I've got the weather over here. I've got my email access right here, a calendar, Google Talk down here. Lots of cool stuff. All of these are gadgets and I can move them around just by dragging their bars and so on. But more importantly, down at the bottom right corner, I've got my Google Docs gadget. I can click the sign in link or click right on Google Docs to go to that sign in page and be logged in using Google Docs. I'm going to sign in right here though. In the very top right corner, clicking sign in will sign me into my Google Apps account. So I'm going to type in D Rivers and then I'm going to enter my password down below. And when I click sign in with this checked off, it'll remember me the next time I go to sign in. And now I'm signed in. You can see my actual email address up here, drivers@lynda.com. There's the sign out link. And now when I scroll down, the gadgets look a little bit different. For example, the weather now is showing Ottawa, Ontario. That's my weather. And a little further down, you can see I've got Google Docs right here. Now, if you don't have a Google Docs gadget, all you have to do is go up to the Add Stuff link right here. Clicking this link will show you all the gadgets that you can choose from, and you can add these at any time to your start page. Now, your start page is going to be different from everyone else. It's customizable. So if I wanted to find, for example, Google Docs, I can type it right up here. And when I hit return, you can see Google Docs shows up right at the top, and I can add it now by clicking the Add It Now button. Lots of other Google options down below. So if you don't have Google Docs, just click it right here, and there you go. So if I want to go to Google Docs, I'm going to go back here to my Google Apps, check out some of those. Yeah, there's Google Docs there as well. When I'm ready, I can go back to my home page. I've got my gadget down in the bottom right-hand corner, click and drag. And I can click Google Docs right here or click Sign In down below. It's up to you. Either way, you're going to go to your Google Docs page and you'll be signed in, ready to go. So this time I'm logged in as drivers@lynda.com. You can see that up here. And this is my Google Docs homepage. And in the next lesson, we're going to take a tour of this user interface to get you comfortable in this new environment. Regardless of how you log into Google Docs, you will arrive at the Docs homepage. Once you do, there are really just four main areas to get familiar with here in the user interface. We'll start at the top in what we call the header section up here. First of all, you'll notice links to other applications such as Gmail, the calendar. Currently, Documents is highlighted. That's what we're looking at. I've got photos, images, web, and more over here as well. If you've got a Google Apps account, you might see your Start Page link up here in the top left corner as well. If you need to change any settings, here's where you go on the right-hand side, just right of your email address. And Settings, Offline Help, Help, and here's where we go to sign out. Now you've got Google Search Engine built right into Google Docs. So here in the search field, when you've got many documents piling up, you can use the Google search engine to find specific documents. We will be doing this later on once we've got some documents loaded here into Google Docs. You've got search options as well as the ability to save your searches. So if it's a search you perform on a regular basis, you can access your saved searches from here as well as over here on the left-hand side in the folder pane. Now we also have a toolbar up here. Here you'll find the toolbar for creating new documents. Clicking the New button allows you to create a new word processing document, spreadsheet, a presentation, or even a new folder. When you want to upload files that exist maybe on your computer, for example, the Upload button will help you do that. When you want to share documents with others, there's a Share button. If you want to rearrange your documents, you can move them around. You can hide them. Here's where you go to delete them, give them a new name, and then we've got more actions down here. Anything with an arrow means you click on it to see some other options. Currently we have no documents to work with, so there are no more actions available at this time. On the left-hand side is where we stay organized. Here you're going to see items, saved searches, folders. You'll see items by type organized for you, and down below anything that you're sharing. So currently you can see when I click on Owned by Me, there are no files or documents loaded into Google Docs at this point that are owned by me. Now, if someone's sharing a document with me, I might be able to go to Opened by Me to see those documents that maybe I don't own, but I was given access to. We're going to use stars later on to tag our files. I can access hidden documents. I can access my trash. Anytime we delete a document, it goes to the trash. And here's where we go to empty our trash. So when I click on trash, you'll notice some different options up here on the toolbar like empty trash or undelete to get something back. Saved searches down below. There are no saved searches at this time, but here's where they'll show up. All folders currently expanded. You can see items not in folders is also available here if I want to find items that I haven't actually put into a folder. Now we're going to have to get our heads around the new way of doing things here in Google Docs because we don't actually create copies of a document for different folders. We just tag those documents with folder names. You'll see later on when we do this as we get organized in Google Docs. The other thing that happens automatically for you is when you start creating different types of documents, word processing documents, spreadsheets, and so on. You can view all the items together, or you can go down and have Google Docs automatically filter them for you. So if you only want to see the word processing documents, spreadsheets, presentations, or PDFs, you can do that as well. And when you start sharing your documents with others, you can filter down to just see the items that are being shared with other people. You'll be able to see the contents of those documents as well as who you're sharing with, as well as some other details. We'll get to that later on as well. And whenever you click on an item over here in the left-hand pane, you will see the contents over here in this area. So right now we don't have anything to view, but as we start creating new documents, uploading documents, sharing, and so on, this becomes quite busy, but stays organized all the while. So that's a quick tour of the user interface. We'll talk more about what you see in the user interface as we start working with actual documents. That's coming up in the next chapter.